Welcome to African United. Each one teach one. Please subscribe to our channel and hit notification.
Commission has become factional, but do you still believe that former President Zuma should subject himself to the commission?
You see, the state capture is factional, and Zondo is a factionalist. And having made such an observation, it doesn't mean we must stay away from it. We must still go, we must still challenge it from within. Maybe he will do away with his factionalist tendencies when we consistently show how factional he is. The guy worships Pravin Gordhan. You can see that he's in the factional battles of Pravin Gordhan and them. And he worships whiteness. And he's very scared of white people. There was a white lawyer there, I don't know if he was representing Koko or what, who said to Seleka, "You are speaking nonsense." And Seleka brought that to attention of Zondo. And Seleka said, he even used a swear word. Zondo said, "No, you can't do that." He even called them to the office, said, "Let's adjourn and let's meet in my chambers." Because it was a white person insulting a black person. When Dalimpofu refuses to be undermined by a white woman and says to her, "Shut up," we are told for the first time that Zondo is in charge. "I'm in charge, I'm in charge." He couldn't say that to a white person. He couldn't say to a white man, "I'm in charge." He couldn't say to us, "I'm in charge." But when Dali challenges a white madam, Zondo tries to impress whiteness. There's nothing woman about that white woman who was just being arrogant and racist. That Dali dealt with decisively. And Zondo, instead of telling the lady to sit down, he tells Dali to sit down. We know that once there is someone objecting, you can't stand up to object on an objection. You sit down until a person finishes objecting. Even if he speaks nonsense, you listen. From there, he sits down, you stand up, you raise your point. But her white arrogance wouldn't allow her to sit down. And then she stood up and then interrupted Dali. Dali told her to shut up. We are told, no, Dali's undermining women. But Dali said the same thing to Pravin. He said, "Shut up to the racist Pravin." So there was nothing about Dali undermining women. He spoke to these two racists the same way. And that's how they must be spoken to, by the way. Racism is violence. When you meet it, you must cut the head properly. You must not play with racists. You must put them at their right place. And that's what Dali did. And we are very proud of Dalimpofu. We heard some people here saying, no, they are going to take action against Dalimpofu. They think we are Jacob Zuma. They must try that. Let them try it. They will see who the EFF is. They will never do that to Dalimpofu. We will never allow that. So, President Zuma must go to the commission. With all the reasons he has and the reservations he has about the commission, he must go in there, he must go and present those things inside the commission, so that when Zondo takes wrong decisions, we are able to review him. But we can't review Zondo when we are called to come, we stay away. So we still feel that President Zuma must be held accountable. We still feel that if President Zuma has got nothing to hide, he must go to a Zondo commission. You know, it doesn't matter whether a judge is treating you unfairly or not. You still participate in that unfair proceedings of the court, and you even bring it to the attention of the judge that you are being unfair on the following. Even ask for their recusal. When they refuse to recuse themselves, you still participate because you've got a recourse. You can take them on review. And all those points you raised during the proceedings will now work in your favor when you take the matter on review. So that's how much we believe we need to participate in that Zondo Commission. We established that commission, we fought for it, but the way it is going is not what we envisaged. We envisaged a commission that will hold Rupert accountable. We envisaged a commission that will hold the Guptas accountable, that will hold all of the establishment which steals from our people and our government accountable, not a certain faction of society. So we don't agree that it must only be the Guptas. The Guptas and Guptas stooges must be held accountable, but Oppenheimer, Rupert stooges must be held accountable too, because they too continue to steal from our country. But we don't see that happening. When people just shout and say they won't go to the Zondo Commission, we don't hear that Zondo is taking them to Constitutional Court to get them arrested and all of that. Even with that white man who was saying to that Seliga guy, you are talking nonsense. Zondo went to meet with them in the office, and from there, the matter was done. There was no statement. But Alimpofu, he's told to sit down. He's told, I'm in charge. I'm not going to allow you to do that. The following day, there is still even a statement on Dalimpofu. Why? Because the faction told Zondo at night, you can see he was told, no, you didn't deal with that matter decisively. You have to put him at his place. You have to put him at his place. But Zondo is not our God. He's a human being. Also with stories of being irresponsible. So he must never come here and want to behave like our God. Zondo is not our God. We established that commission, and it's not a property of Zondo. It doesn't belong to him. It belongs to the people of South Africa. And when Zondo doesn't handle that commission properly, we must point it out without fear or favor. We're not going to be scared here of a judicial dictatorship. We're not going to be scared here when a judge is mishandling issues in South Africa and handling them in a factional way in favor of white establishment, that we must keep quiet because he's a judge. We're not going to allow that nonsense. It's not going to happen, not with us. He can do what he wants to do, Zondo. He can take all of us to prison, Zondo. But we have to point it out that Zondo is factional. Zondo is with Praveen. Zondo is against black people. And he defends white establishment. And he does everything in his power to make black people look bad in that commission. Well, no, we don't care what these ones of Richard Branson and all these handlers of Richard, of this, all these subjects of white capital are going to say on Twitter. They are all paid. We've got people here who are paid by Richard Branson. They are forever emceeing in all his events here in South Africa. They've got some chicken audacity to want to behave like they are more cleaner than others. We'll call them one day by their rightful names. So we must not be shaken here by people who are on the payroll of white capital, who want to behave like they are holier than thou. They can never be confronted. They are the best. No.